childhood best friend's fiancée left me off their wedding guest list, but he thought I was coming. When I told him she never invited me in the first place, the wedding almost got called off. Me, 32M, and my best friend Alex, 32M, have been friends since diapers. We're basically family. After college we both moved back home so we could live at home and get our feet underneath us. Alex started dating Stella, 35F, a lovely girl, around 4.5 years ago, and from the get-go she seemed to politely dislike me. I'd quiet, oh well, c'est la vie. Alex and Stella moved across the country in 2021 after Stella earned a promotion at work. In 2022 Alex proposed, she said yes, and they set a wedding date for the end of September 2023. I got a save the date card at the beginning of the year, and based on the conversations I had with Alex assumed I would be in the wedding party, either as a groomsman or the best man, but never received any official confirmation from either of them. Couple months before the wedding I saw that wedding invitations had gone out on social media, and figured mine was en route. It never came. I waited a couple weeks, figured it might have just gotten lost in the mail, before I checked in with him. I called Alex and had a brief conversation with him where he was clearly agitated and said he was dealing with a lot, would be incommunicado for the near future, to direct any wedding-related questions to Stella, and he'd call me when things cooled off. I called, texted, and emailed Stella several times over the course of a week, but she didn't respond to any of them. At this point I figured I wouldn't be attending the wedding, and that things were really fucked up for some reason between the two of us. Yesterday, a little over 3 weeks after our last conversation, Alex DM'd asking if I was free to chat. I jumped at the opportunity to get some answers, and after exchanging pleasantries Alex jumped right into a spiel saying that he knew I was super busy with work and dealing with a lot of personal stuff, but he'd love it if it could attend his wedding, even just as a guest, and wanted to know if there was anything he could do to help make that happen. I just blurted out that I'd love to but hadn't received an invitation. Alex stared blankly at me and said, "What?" And I just kinda verbal vomited out that I hadn't received an invitation. That was the reason I'd called him a few weeks ago, that I'd contacted Stella about it but she never got back to me and left me on read, and that I had no idea what he was talking about, me dealing with too much to be involved in the wedding. After a very pregnant pause, he said he needed to go sort things out, and that he'd call me when it was done. My phone's blowing TF up since with wedding attendees asking me WTF happened and why the wedding might be off now. My girlfriend has reaffirmed to me that I did nothing wrong, but I've had people from all sides saying I stuck my nose where it didn't belong, and caused a stink, which is really fucking with my head. Ida? Edit 1, after he'd me we switched to video chat, meant to include that whoops edit 2. I may not be able to respond to everyone's response but I have read them all and appreciate each and every one of them. My girlfriend is also having way too much with this and is kindly giving me shit for doubting myself. Update 1. Alex and I texted Tuesday night/Wednesday morning. He said he was handling stuff and asked if I'd be free to talk Thursday afternoon with him and Stella, which I agreed to. This is just a rough summary, and I probably forgot some stuff. Frankly, I'm too mentally fried to weave a narrative RN, so it's just gonna be bullet points. A couple of pieces of info about Alex to provide some context. Alex was raised fairly sheltered and religious until he was 18, when he went to college and opened. As a result, he still has some blind spots about certain things. Alex has mild to moderate OCD. It's managed with low levels of medication and maintenance therapy, which is one of the reasons he gets overwhelmed easily, especially from unexpected stressors, and weddings are chock full of those. Now for the actual update. The wedding, it's still happening. I will be the best man, and I've been read in on all the shit I need to do. The person who was filling in for me, Matthew, 34M, one of mine and Alex's good friends who's also neurodivergent, is thrilled not to have to spend the day peopling and can instead party his ass off. As a result of this clusterfuck, Alex/Stella/whoever parents are paying for the wedding will be comping me plus GF's plane tickets and hotel stay and my best man Tux. What was the main driver of this mess in the first place? Stella's pregnant, yay. They found out a couple days after the wedding invites got sent out. Apparently they were passively trying, then actively trying in 2022, but stopped and swapped back to heavy BC once the save dates went out because Stella did not want to be pregnant on her wedding day. This led to several changes to the wedding, threw a bunch of other planning into disarray, sent Alex into an OCD hole for a couple weeks, which is why he was agitated when I called him and why he needed time to get his head around it all and get the intrusive thoughts managed, and one of the reasons why Stella ignored/missed my messages/calls. Why did Stella not respond to my messages? Besides surprise pregnancy, Stella said that she's on her phone for work a ton, and gets hundreds, if not thousands of emails/texts/calls per day. She misses some stuff, especially since she didn't have my contact info saved. Lol. I also emailed her work email instead of personal email, which I don't have, and my own personal email handle is not my name. In the future I was told to be more insistent in my communication with her to break through her everyday noise. Duly noted. What happened to my invite? Stella claims that she sent me one but must have sent it to my old address. I did move in March to my current residence and the save the dates were sent out in January. What did Stella tell Alex about me not being in the wedding? Apparently nothing. According to Stella, he either 1. Believed one of his intrusive thoughts was real when he was in his OCD hole. 2. He got confused when she told him one of her cousins with a similar sounding name to mine wouldn't be attending. Or 3. Some combination thereof. According to Stella, she always wanted me in the wedding. Why did Stella not contact me after I didn't RSVP back? She assumed there was something going with me and Alex and that we'd sort it out and he'd tell her. In the meantime she was busy with work, wedding planning, and unexpected baby. How did a bunch of wedding guests find out about this mess? Alex called his mom for advice after our convo. Mom had church friends over. Church ladies overheard a good chunk of their convo. Church ladies are gossipy fucks. Alex has spent a decent chunk of time the last couple days putting out fires, so to speak. After about an hour Stella left to go deal with some wedding stuff and me and Alex chatted about shit for a couple hours. Do I believe Stella's explanations? Kinda. The baby's real as far as I know. Confirmed by medical professional. She does have a cousin I know she's close with who has a similar sounding name to me, and she does work from her phone a lot, but the rest of it just seems a little too convenient, and I feel like I'm left with more questions than answers. Good news is since I'm in the wedding I should have great access to figure out WTF is going on, I hope. Update 2. Valp, it's been a while, sorry y'all for taking so long to get this update out. Been absolutely swamped at work putting out fires with my hair on fire for the last 6-ish month, so here's the Cliff Notes version of the wedding and some post-wedding shit. Lead up was boring, shittin' of emailing back and forth between me, Stella, other wedding people, venues, vendors, etc. Me and Alex had some pretty deep conversations over the week and reaffirmed the importance of our continued friendship. Shit was really fucking awkward the first night we were there for dinner nil, especially considering both Alex's stepsister Sam, 32F, and Stella younger sister and Mo Diana, 29F, were already staying there. We stayed at an Airbnb within walking distance of Alex's house. I went into event work mode pretty quick and that smoothed things out right quick and put Stella at ease. I spent most of the lead up to the wedding either at the ceremony/reception site doing liaison/setup, gaffing, running cables, setting up monitors, hanging and focusing, building shit etc., or running around picking shit/people/shitty people up with Sam. My GF, Alice, 29F, was kinda miffed about the whole thing. She's never worked a wedding before, just attended, so she expected it to be like 50% working 50% vacation, when it ended up being more likely 90% me working and 10% vacation. She spent most of her time helping Alex out with wedding support related shit or gaming on my laptop when she gassed out or got too overwhelmed. Wedding was a fun mess, tons of unrelated drama. Stella sure knows how to design a beautiful ceremony and plan a fucking party. I'll give her credit for that. Didn't get to enjoy much of it since I was working the wedding with a few other people in the wedding party more than attending, but c'est la vie. Ceremony took fucking forever though, felt terrible for all the bridesmaids who had to wear heels through that shit. Unfortunately there was no gotcha moment or come to Jesus moment where I got the full story as to why SHTMFF, but based on what I observed while working the wedding I think I've been able to piece together roughly what went down. Why wasn't I the best man? I think this had more to do with Stella's parents, Ken and Karen, 60s, than her, although she still doesn't like me. My main reasoning: Ken and Karen were paying for the majority of the wedding, more than Stella, Alex, and Alex's parent combined. Alex and Stella sketched out pretty early what they wanted the wedding to look like. Throughout the process Stella made several significant changes out of the proverbial blue X. They originally agreed on a smaller wedding, something like 50 to 60 people. Then one day Stella wanted a big ass wedding. Alex didn't really care all that much and just figured she changed her mind. He just somehow missed that most of these changes occurred after Stella either had a phone call or in-person meeting with her parents, which is on brand for him. Her parents were very standoffish towards me, to be expected, feelings mutual, and made a lot of, frankly weird comments about Stella's younger, totally not a cokehead, brother Chase, 23M, oftentimes in comparisons between us that flattered him, and kept insisting he was perfect best man material. Alex has barely met Stella's parents, maybe a dozen times over the last 5 years. Every time they visit for the holidays Stella has them leave early for whatever reason and Stella rarely initiates calls with them. Stella acts really fucking weird around her parents. Around everyone else she's a badass modern woman, but around her parents she gets super meek. Her mom asked her to go drive to some specific store over an hour away to get her a specific food item in the middle of wedding planning shit, and she just did it without any protest and left the rest of the wedding party in a lurch. When she got back 3 hours later her mom took like 2 bites then threw it away. If I hadn't seen this shit with my own two eyes I wouldn't have believed it, it was that bizarre. Lots of other innocuous shit that individually means nothing but when combined to together provide a decent amount of circumstantial evidence. So here's what I think happened, roughly. Ken and Karen wanted Chase to be the best man in the wedding. Alex really wanted me to be the best man. Rather than make a choice, Stella appeased both parties, telling them what they wanted to hear while making no actual decision. The longer it went on, the more complex the lying got. When Alex had his breakdown, Stella saw a way to get out from under her Gordian knot of lies by taking advantage of the crisis. Unfortunately for her, Alex came to his senses before the wedding, started asking questions, and when push finally came to shove, she chose her relationship over whatever the fuck is going with the family, much to their apparent chagrin. Why does Stella not like me? I have two main guesses here. 1. I swear a lot. I tend to forget most people don't use the word fuck as a noun, verb, adjective, adverb, pronoun, preposition, conjunction, interjection, numeral, article, and determiner. Since I was working the wedding and I was on my best behavior and cut down on my swearing by a good 90%, which led me to noticing that any time swear, or anyone for that matter curses, Stella has a little grimace/cringe reaction. Stella herself also rarely curses, and if she does, it's something pretty small like hell or damn it, followed by a quick apology. It's probably exacerbated by the fact that in spite of my generally unprofessional behavior I hold a fairly professional job. The dissonance can bother folks. 2. Politics, and before people freak out, I'm somewhere between a democratic socialist and socialist on the political spectrum. I am a far cry from conservative, but for Stella that's not far enough left, as from what I can tell she's either a tanky or tanky adjacent. This has been more or less confirmed to me based on her social media engagement relating to the major geopolitical events of the last 6 months or so. Probably exacerbated by the fact that my job involves working in geopolitics, so I am part of the repressive imperialist Western system. And as it turns out, I'm not the only person in the wedding who isn't super fond of Stella. Found my flock, so to speak, post-wedding shit. Alex and Stella had a healthy baby girl, named Iris. Me and Sam are the godparents. Me and Alex have been talking a lot more. For whatever reason he asks me for childcare tips, like bruh, I'm just as lost as you hear, and have set up a weekly gaming sesh where we're slowly slogging through BG3 with Sam and Matthew. As far as I know, Alex and Stella are in couples counseling, which seems to be helping from my vantage point. Stella was weirdly against it, but Alex pushed for it so he could be a better husband to her, and she relented. As far as I know, Stella's already back at work and on most of her pre-baby schedule. Alex's stepsister Sam has been checking in on them periodically, and according to her there's no major red flags. ATM Stella actually texts/emails me stuff now. It's mostly baby pictures, but it's a step in the right direction and I appreciate it. I send cat pictures in response. Hopefully this is the last update. My life got far too interesting for that month, and with my current workload I doubt I could mentally handle more drama. Next story. Wife had an emotional affair with a boy she met on Omegle. Sent him N-day and let him talk to our daughter. Then she told me I'm lazy and not good enough compared to him. I 27 am and my wife 25 f. She first started talking to this guy last year, when he was 17 and my wife 24. She became withdrawn, would let a lot of things slide, lose interest in her hobbies, the household, the kids, her friends, me. She admitted to me, in tears, that she had started chatting a guy from Omegle one night when bored. They had exchanged contact details. She made a Snapchat just for him and so did he. They began chatting there regularly. This guy is handsome, he's young, he's an athlete, and he's fit as can be. He's funny. He's awesome. He mesmerizes her. Makes her laugh all the time. She finds herself falling for him, and she admits her mistake to me. I am so sad and upset. But I forgive her. She promises to block him. Remove her app. Things are cool for a while, but months later I find out she still has Snapchat. She says it's for her other friends. I push the issue. Turns out she still talks to the guy. I am not okay with this. She says they are just friends. I tell her to block his ass. She says she does. Around December last year I discovered she never did block him. Still talks to him. I am so fucking mad. I break into her phone one day, see her Snapchat open and a message from him. I love you, it says. Scroll up more and see a picture of my own wife's breast staring me in the face. She sent him her tits for his birthday. Once more she blocks the guy. I think things are fine, but I am starting to lose my feelings for my wife. One time around Christmas my oldest daughter tells me, excitedly, that she had a phone call with Sebastian the Crab. Like the buddy of Ariel the Little Mermaid from the Disney movie? I shrug it off. I mean, 4-year-olds make shit up all the time, right? And she has a very rich imagination. She constantly insists she's a real fairy or princess and claims to have magic powers and whatever. I find out just yesterday that my wife never stopped talking to the guy until this past February, when he suddenly ghosted her out of nowhere. Which makes sense because she was very sad and depressed at the time. She then deleted all her apps and accounts in anger, and now has no way of contacting the guy or being contacted by him. Not sure if I even believe that anymore, but sure. She was sharing all she did to me. Like she wanted it off her chest. I just let her talk, and she admits to it all. Says she really fell in love with him. Mentions how she read a lot on Quora about polyamory, Quora is her fucking Bible, and that she feels like she can love multiple people at once, that her love for me has not diminished by loving another guy. I call bullshit. Then she admits she even had voice calls with the guys at night when I am away. I often work night shift. At times our oldest daughter would wake up and he'd talk to her too. He sang her to sleep a few times. And he pretended to be Sebastian the Crab, which is what my daughter tried to tell me. She tried to tell on her mama, I think. But I shrugged it off. I am so insanely angry she would allow herself, as a grown woman, to fall for some boy on the other side of the globe. I am feeling betrayed by the fact that she showed her body to him. What makes me the most mad, however, is that he talked to my fucking daughter. He even saw her picture in a video. He called her Little Dua, like the singer Dua Lipa, because he thinks she looks like a toddler version of that singer. The whole thing is so creepy. The fact that he was just 17 when my wife and him met online is creepy to me. The fact that she allowed him to talk to our firstborn daughter. It's all messed up. I fear she may have wanted to run off with the guy. She's talked a lot about the place he lives, California, and I'm just weirded out by that, too. I don't know what to do. I'm heartbroken. My wife and I have a daughter, 4, another daughter, 2, and she is currently pregnant as well. She blames some of her behavior on pregnancy hormones, which is nonsense. She also tried to subtly push polyamory on me as well. I'm so done with her. But I also love our daughters and do not want them to grow up in a broken home. She's gone back to normal in some sense. She does her hobbies, she cares for the kids and runs the household as before. She is sweet to me, at times. We make love often. But most of the time, as much as it pains me to say, I feel nothing. I'm 27 years old. I felt last year that I had it all. I felt on top of the world. Now I feel like I already lost it. Update, so here's an update. I have read all the responses to my previous topic but did not find time to respond and reply to each and every one of them individually. The common thought seems to be that I need to man up and take responsibility of my life, and many have advised me to kick out my wife or seek legal counsel and start gathering evidence. Financially speaking, as a young father of soon-to-be 3 kids, I cannot just call up a lawyer like that. We are not Americans and we are not in America either, so I do not know which laws do and do not apply to our situation. The guy she had her emotional affair with, however, is in the States, but they lost contact and my wife claims she does not know his last name or exact location, only his first name. Some have suggested she was the one being catfished, but she says no, because she actually had video calls with the guy and he looked like the images he had previously sent her. My wife admitted a lot of things to me in our talk. For example, she's a singer-songwriter, or rather, she tries to be one. She has written a lot of songs, passionate, romantic and sweet loving songs over the last half year. I was touched by them before, thought they were about me. Turns out they weren't. Turns out they were about that guy. This devastated me. The whole affair, my wife said, inspired her. She told me about how hardworking the guy is. How he is going to a top university, how clever and bright he is, blah blah blah. She said she considers me lazy, not ambitious enough. That I am good with the kids and all that, a decent provider, but that I am not really someone she sees as being capable of greatness. She likes the fact that I look good and our kids look good, and that I have a lot of focus on their well-being. But she needs a life partner, not just a babysitter. This infuriated me because when I take care of my fucking kids, I am not just a babysitter, I am their father and I am caring for them because I love them and I am responsible for them. She admitted she often thinks of going back to her own country and living with her parents. My in-laws are quite well-to-do and my mill has a lot of time on her hands to help out. My wife is not originally from the same country as me. My wife said she'd take the kids. Follow her dreams in the city she studied in, which she thinks will give her a better chance at success. She also regrets having married me in the first place. She says that she wouldn't have married me if she knew at the time how lazy I was. For the record, I am not lazy. I work night shift 3 nights a week, also work during days several other days. On the evenings I am home. I manage to cook at least twice a week. I do groceries, pick the kids up from school, make them sleep too regularly. I handle the kids on evenings. I am free to allow my wife to go to classes to develop herself. She is pregnant and I massage her at times for up to 90 minutes so her back and legs won't be too painful. I'm a fucking hero to that woman and she does not realize it. Instead, she compares me to some other guy she's never even met in person, and somehow, I don't quite measure up because I didn't go to a top school, I'm not rich, I'm less ambitious, and this makes me lazy and useless. So now I'm looking at my options. I'm 27 years old. I am in decent shape and I am not a bad looking guy. I'm a good father. I'm a good provider. I'm a good son and a loyal friend. I've been a good husband, too, but apparently I'm not good enough. Well, guess what? Neither is she. She's far from sufficient. She's far from good enough. But I never say even 1% of the hateful and negative shit she tells me. Never. I've told her all this. I have told her how I feel. I told her that I do not feel respected. That I feel like shit, treated like shit, tossed aside like shit. That I will not continue to support her and her dreams if this is what she wants to do. I also told her that she is not going to take the kids anywhere. That if she wants to leave, she can leave, but she will do it by herself. She is not a citizen yet of my country and I reminded her of the fact. Whereas our kids are. I have taken hold of our kids' passports and now hold them with me as I write this. I am not letting go of them. If she wants to leave she can, but it will just be her and the unborn baby leaving and she won't bring any of my stuff with her. That laptop she has been using to chat to the guy, it's now with me too. I bought her that fucking laptop, I'm taking it back. I'm taking back control of my life. I am still considering what further steps I will take, but whatever she has planned I'm not about to lay down and take it. Since telling me all this, and her hearing my response, all of us as a family have attended a family event. My wife pretended to be fine. She has stopped saying negative things to me. She's not on her phone anymore. I distrust her. But even though I have told her where the door is, she has not left the house either. I think she is backing down a bit by now.